Okay, the first thing to remember is make sure that your table saw is unplugged. You don't want it to accidentally start up while you're holding onto the blade. That would be bad. We're just going to take out the insert here with a couple screws. Depending on your table saw, you might not have screws. Some of them don't. There we go. Okay, I've got my scrap of wood here. And let's see, lefty-loosey. So put it up against this side. Got to make sure that this nut only has two sides flat on it, so I got to make sure that's in a good position for me to get the wrench in there. Be better to have a dedicated wrench to use with this, but actually that was really easy. But not the end of the world if you have to use a monkey wrench, like I do. Just unscrew the thing. There we go. My dad actually machined this nut here and the arbor itself. Did all the threading on it and stuff. It was very nice of him to do that. Now we got the new blade we're going to use. Yikes! Actually, I took that off and dropped it, but took it off because I wanted to check and make sure that the arbor is really clean before I put that on. So obviously you want the blade to be right up against the arbor. There we go. Put this nut back on. And one important thing to remember is that you want the teeth to be facing towards you as you're cutting, so they're actually cutting the material. I'd be curious to see what it would be like if you had the teeth facing the opposite direction. Would it cut at all? I do not know. So then we snug it up as tight as we can get it by hand. And then we put this piece of wood on the opposite side, because we're going righty-tighty now. It's a little bit harder to do it because obviously the teeth aren't grabbing into the wood this way like they are when it's in the front. Be a little bit safer to use some of these quick clamps. When I was loosing it, not such a big deal, but now we have to apply some force. So better to use the quick clamp so my hand isn't going to slip and hit against the blade. Not that it would do a lot of damage against the back of the tooth, but I don't know. I'd rather keep my blood inside my body rather than out. There we go. Yeah, you can apply a lot more force when you get a clamp there. So, all right. Should be good to go. As an extra precaution before I fire this up, I'm just going to turn the pulley by hand a little bit. Make sure that everything is free, moving freely. Well, let's give her a whirl. There we go. That's all there is to it. So after changing this blade out a couple times, I figured out a better way to hold this blade from spinning while you're trying to loosen the nut or get it tightened, is instead of using that piece of wood, just actually use the clamp on the blade itself. And that works pretty well. These quick clamps have enough clamping force to hold on to there, but you can certainly use like an F-style clamp. And you don't need to get it that tight because the rotation of the blade should continue to tighten up that nut. I mean, don't leave it loose, but you don't have to use a torque wrench on it or anything. So there you go.
Before you go, I want to say thanks for stopping by. I put out a new video each week about woodworking, setting up a home workshop, and making stuff in general. Subscribe to get notified of new videos, and don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Take care.